Hey, hey, hey. Yo, okay, bet. Say less. We cooking. Yo, yo, yo. Yo, 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 yo. Alright. that should be good, bruh. Don't gotta do that, all that extra shit. Come over here. Actually, we can't do that. And then we drop this one down. Yeah. $6,000 kps. Alright, fuck it, let's do it. The fuck is up? What's up? I fixed the mic and everything, so it should be. Shit should sound nice now. You know what I'm saying? It should sound nice. Everything should sound crisp, clear, and perfect. In the last stream, y'all probably wasn't hearing shit. So in this stream, you know what I'm saying? I hope it. Actually, matter of fact, you probably ain't hear shit again, cause the fucking music was a lot of shit. But like I was saying, the mic was extremely low for some reason in the last stream. I fixed that up, so you got a better audio for this stream. Man, how was y'all day? How was y'all week? I hope it was amazing. I hope, you know what I'm saying, I hope you got some shit done. I hope you got off your ass. I hope you touched some grass. If not, I hope you were aligning to where you wanted to, aligning to your desired reality, aligning to your goals. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I hope you got one step closer to where you needed to be. You know what I'm saying? Hey, yeah, though. Hey, yeah. Shit, we just vibing, though. I'm just vibing for the day, though, bro. You know. But I think I ain't gonna say too much. Let's just get into this, to the screens. You did what I'm saying. Let's just get to the screens. I'm getting hype already, bro. I got some good videos for y'all today. So, hold on, let me fix the cam. Okay. Let's get this out of here. Doom. Yes, Lord. Alright, y'all. Alright. Start these videos, man. Let's get to it. How AI will spark the next human renaissance by after school. Now, man, AI been doing some crazy shit, bruh. Personally, I'm excited, but I'm also afraid of what AI could become. I've had a lot of speculations and a lot of speculations on what AI could be, what it could become. And you know, some positive, some negative. We're already seeing kind of the negatives. So, you know, some certain positives. Whether we like it or not, AI is going to unfortunately become more, what's the word, obsolete it's just gonna keep upgrading. Whether we like it or not, it's just gonna keep upgrading. These greedy motherfuckers are gonna keep upgrading the AI, upgrade the, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's nothing we can do about it, man. It is what it is, brother. Fuck it. Anyways, let's get to the video, dog.
Each year, the dictionary chooses a word of the year based on popularity and significance. It kind of gives you a snapshot at the main theme of that year. There are many dictionaries, and the word of the year varies depending on which one you look at. But interestingly enough, quite a few agreed on the word of the year for 2025. Slop. As an artist and content creator, I had a particular reaction to this word. Why does slop summarize the time we're living in? Wasn't AI supposed to unleash our creative potential and make our wildest imaginations become reality? The ability to create anything is right at our fingertips, and yet, we haven't got an abundance of masterpieces that inspire us with awe and wonder. No, what we have got is an algorithmic sewage pipe of never-ending sludge.
It's because everybody that use AI, most of them just want to be making like funny shit or just fucking gooned out gooner shit, bro. That's what people want to do with AI. Like, I mean, I've seen a few really good like 8 uses for AI, but majority of it is just meme material, bro. It's either meme material or gooner material or fear mongering material. That's what they use AI for, bro. That's why it's called AI slop. That's the majority of what you see on the fucking app is meme material, meme AIing memes, AIing gooner shit, or AI fear mongering shit. It's just like literally, that's literally what they have it for, bro. This is like, man, every time I see some AI, it's like, damn, like it's getting crazy, bro. I'm not even gonna lie, bro. And the more that it's upgraded, it's harder to distinguish whether it's real or not. I mean, obviously, it still got its tweaks. Like, it's still, you can still noticeably notice like the differences between like a real video and an AI video. But it's becoming like before it was like, you know, but nowadays it's just like, damn, like it's getting harder and harder to fucking distinguish from real. It's crazy.
Vapid, unoriginal, forgettable slop. Humans are tool users. When we discover a tool that works, we pick it up quickly. Every time we pick up a new tool, we gain something in the short term, but we also lose something, and what we lose is often subtle and takes a long time to play out. Look at some of the significant inventions of the past. Take agriculture, for example. Before agriculture, man was one with earth. Every plant and animal was animated with a sacred spirit. Humans were part of a rich, mystical ecosystem. When farming was invented, the buffalo became the puller of the plow. Nature was now something separate from us, a resource to serve man's needs. We began to sever our harmonious connection to the earth. But this trade-off was worth it. Who could say no to consistent food, security, and survival? Then take the invention of writing. This moment was detailed in the philosophical myth found in Plato's Phaedrus, where Socrates describes the Egyptian god Thoth, presenting the invention of writing to the Egyptian king Thamus. Thoth tells King Thamus that writing is a potion for memory and wisdom, claiming that it will make the Egyptians wiser and improve their memories by allowing them to record knowledge. King Thamus argues the opposite, stating that writing will cause people to lose their internal memory because they will rely on external, written symbols rather than their own inner recollection.
Kind of sound like today, don't it? You got a big split today with AI, where some people say, "Oh, it's, you know." I mean, it got some real life complications. Don't get me wrong. It's not like, you know, that bitch not sucking up a whole bunch of water or shit. But it's like you got some people really arguing against it and saying how it's gonna really fuck up society, and then you got some people saying, you know, this invention could really, you know, push human accelerate human what is that human damn, I can't think. Human technology or human, you get what I'm trying to say? It's like a big split. But the one thing for me is the reason why I'm non-biased about AI. Like I know I hear about the complications and all the bullshit that come with AI, and then I also hear about the great things that come with AI. But the reason why I'm non-biased and I'm just curious to see where it goes is because I realize that AI is just a tool. It's not necessarily anything other than a tool. It's not what people make it out to be. Like, it's not like some evil overlord or some, like, you know what I'm saying? It's literally a tool. Oh my god, my fault. It's almost like saying this lighter, when it was first built, oh, this was gonna be a problem because people are not gonna have the skill to be able to create their own fires, or bullshit. Like, it's a tool. Whatever is going to help you get the job done easier and faster is going to help you get the job done easier and faster. And it's going to free up the time. You get what I'm trying to say? Hold on. But AI for me is like, although it is a tool and it helps you get the job done quicker and faster, like he said, it does take away from, the skills that the fundamental skills that come with whatever you're trying to get done quicker and faster. It's like the pro is that using it, you'll get done things quicker and faster, so then you can basically use the time that you just freed up to, I don't know, focus on other aspects, I guess you can say. But the con is, it's taken away from the skills that come with whatever you're trying to, takes away from the skills, the jobs that come with it. It takes away so much. And yeah, it's a pro and a con to this shit, bro. It's like, it's deep. It's deep as fuck. I ain't gonna lie. Oh shit. Ooh.
King Thamus predicts that people will hear much without being properly taught, leading them to appear wise while remaining ignorant. The inventions of agriculture and writing were massive changes, but they were slowly deployed over many generations. Fast forward 6,000 years, and the rate of change has increased rapidly. In the 1900s, electricity came along. Who could say no to an invention like that? But after lighting up our cities, we began to lose our connection to the night sky. Many people in dense urban areas have never really seen the stars. They are unaware of our planet's orbit, the patterns of meteor showers, the cycles of the solar system, and our place in the greater cosmos. We used to be able to navigate the land and orient ourselves in space. Now with GPS, we need help getting to a place that we've been to 20 times before, that's only a few miles from our home. This list could keep going, but you get the idea. Each time we gain something with technology, we lose something as well, and what we lose is often hard to see until much later. This arrives us neatly to AI. We can all sense that AI will be the single biggest driver of change in the next decade, and may very well be our last invention. There's no denying that it's a tremendously powerful tool with limitless potential. But what are we losing as we adopt AI into our everyday lives? What are we losing by letting AI make our decisions, do our critical thinking, and create our art? For many, this could erase our reason to exist. There is a growing fear that AI will replace us all. As AI proves to do everything faster and cheaper than humans can, the unavoidable question is, what will humans do? What are we good for? What purpose will we serve? Why get out of bed when everything's already done for us? Why try to gain a skill when that skill is obsolete? Who's even going to be able to buy stuff if all the jobs are taken? There are countless videos and articles spelling out doomsday scenarios concerning the near future of AI.
Now, I heard a theory that when we get to this point, they're going to start rolling out universal pay. To basically, you won't have to do shit. You won't have to everything that you want will be literally at your fingertips. You won't even have to work. They're gonna figure out a way. The theory is that they're gonna figure out a way to pay us to basically sit down and do nothing, or like we'll have something to do, but it's like it is very like it's not as purposeful as certain jobs that we have today. But man, I don't know, bruh. Like, look at this nigga, bro. Like, I don't know. This nigga just out of it. I know personally, bro. Like, if I'm not striving for nothing and everything just coming easy for me, I'm not saying I won't appreciate it, but it's gonna be hard for me to appreciate that shit. For real. You're gonna see way more suicidal rates because motherfuckers gonna be depressed all day in the crib. You know what I'm saying? It's just like I don't know, man. That's the con to it, though. It's like it's gonna replace all need for human. It's gonna replace the need for human purpose, for usefulness or a purpose for a human. You see what I'm saying?
Most of these concerns are completely valid, but I'm not here to do that. The fact that slop is the word of the year actually gives me hope. It shows on some level that people are rejecting the idea that we are all replaceable. It reveals that there is something fundamental that humans can do that AI cannot. Since the Industrial Revolution, we have treated people like cogs in a machine to do monotonous, repetitive tasks in factories and offices and assembly lines under fluorescent lights. We've pretended that copying numbers from one spreadsheet and pasting them in another is important work. All of a sudden, AI comes along and floods the market with agents that do repetitive tasks quicker and cheaper than any human worker can. It's killed the value of generic work.
Now, this is my thing. Alright, so if you're a person that at your job, you just hate your job, you despise your job, right? Like, let's say you work at a fast food place and you despise that job. Is it right for you to be mad because AI took your job? Now, I say this. I would be mad. I would get that you're mad because, it's taken away from your income source. But at the end of the day, there's a lot of ways you can get some money out here. A lot of legal ways, I say that. There's a lot of legal ways you can get some money out here. And you hate the job anyway, so why would you care if somebody went to go take your job? Now, again, this is only saying for the people who hate their job. I'm not saying people who are trying to get a job. Most notably, those people in what is it, Amazon? People trying to get jobs in Amazon. Those people who go through college and you know what I'm saying, they end up getting their job swept up by fucking AI. Like, those people I'm not talking about. Like, you actually went to go get a degree and go try to earn that job. So you're most likely to love your job. But I'm saying, like, regular 9-to-5s, as in, like, specifically, like, for example, restaurant jobs, like people who work at McDonald's and them. Like, if AI took your job, like, would you really be mad? My thing is, I think people wouldn't be mad if they ended up getting paid. So if let's say I work at McDonald's, right, and they laid me off, but they said, hey, we're gonna lay you off, but we're gonna still pay you because we're gonna pay you for being unemployed because AI took your job. I'm pretty sure I wouldn't be mad, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people wouldn't be mad. But if you told a motherfucker, hey, AI is gonna take your job, you're getting laid off, motherfuckers gonna start riots. They already doing it now, but motherfuckers gonna start riots. So it's just like, this is why I think that they're gonna start rolling out universal pay. I don't know when, but I feel like this is when they're gonna start reeling out universal pay for this reason, because you don't want your country going mayhem because you didn't took all their jobs with your invention, and you not paying your people. You not paying the people. Plus, if you have a group of people that you want to consume, you want them to consume what you're making. You might as well pay them some. Y'all last be. I ain't finna get into all it, but yeah.
It's ended the need for humans to do dehumanizing labor. A great YouTube channel called Medieval Mindset argues that the 2030s will be the new Renaissance. Because in the next few years, quote, the AI flood will make unsimulated humanity the ultimate luxury good. So many of us are worried that AI will replace us, but very soon there will inevitably be a grand realization that AI can only replace the drudgery. We'll be left with the work that requires a soul and some real critical thinking. It's going to be a movement from an economy of quantity to an economy of quality, where we shift our focus to doing things that the machine cannot. End quote. AI does not know how to produce anything meaningful. Meaning cannot be manufactured. Meaning is found in suffering, especially in the pursuit of something noble. The more we suffer to reach our aim, the more meaningful the journey becomes. AI does not know what hard work is because it doesn't know struggle. It will never have to grapple with a tough decision. It doesn't feel shame for being wrong or the joy that comes from failing 100 times and finally succeeding. Wrestling with suffering, discomfort, risk, and adversity is an integral part of what truly makes us feel alive. It reminds me of the beautiful monologue from Robin Williams in Good Will Hunting, where he tells Will that just because he's read a book on Michelangelo doesn't mean he knows what it feels like to stand underneath the Sistine Chapel. Just because he can recite Shakespeare doesn't mean he knows what it feels like to fall in love and be vulnerable. To have knowledge is one thing. To have experience is something entirely different.
Yep.
If there is no experience embedded in creation, then the creation is like a superficial gift, one with dazzling wrapping paper, but which is ultimately empty on the inside. And this is why movies, poetry, paintings, and music produced by AI feels hollow. It's a violation of human expression. It may look or sound cool to our senses, but it doesn't touch the heart. It's not rooted in any experience, struggle, or triumph. This is why I'm actually really excited for the next few years. I believe that AI will devour itself, at least in creative terms. There's nothing left for it to train on. The only thing left is to regurgitate a regurgitation of a regurgitation.
Cap, it's gonna keep eating off us. It's already doing that now. Peep social media, bruh. It literally is. Your algorithm is trained by you, and AI is literally eating off that data. So your algorithm is personalized to you, and then AI it takes from that data and it kind of it programs the algorithm. It programs the algorithm. I feel like AI is gonna try its best to copy what is considered authentic, but it's not going. It's still going to be a noticeable difference between something with soul and something with that's artificial.
I foresee a renaissance in the near future, where humans discover what it means to be human again. We are tired of the sanitized AI hologram. We want something real, imperfect, authentic, and surprising. Unsimulated humanity will become the ultimate luxury good. Carpenters will take pride in crafting a chair again. Businesses in colorful, funky, decorative homes instead of the mass-produced concrete boxes we see now. Maybe we can even get back to building extraordinary monuments again, like cathedrals, temples, and pyramids. Of course, there will always be people who don't care about meaning. They will just want the final product. They don't want artwork that touches their soul. They just want to be entertained.
The allegory of the cave. We about to watch a video on that. We about to watch a video on that, but I'll save it for later. I'll save the connection for later. But
AI slop will get better and better at capturing people's attention. It will get better and better at pleasing our senses. There will be many people who will choose an AI robot partner over the messiness of real romance. But I'm encouraged because I've noticed a growing trend of young people who seem to be aware of the brain rot they're being force-fed, and they're taking their lives back, rejecting AI slop and these algorithms that are robbing them of real experience. Surprisingly, many of Gen Z and younger have traded in their smartphones for dumb phones They've committed to reading physical books, going outside, and having real face-to-face adventures. They are seeking to reconnect with something modern civilization has lost: a soul. This is really what After School has been about for so long. In a sea of mindless slop, I want this channel to stand out as a beacon of light, which appeals to your conscious mind. I'd like you to walk away from each video feeling like you learned something of value to your life, hopefully something meaningful. Yes, the temptation to use AI is there, and I'm not here to condemn anyone using it. But for me, the joy of making these videos does not come from the final product. The joy comes from the creative process itself. Making these videos is how I learn. I don't have a content strategy. I simply make the videos about things I'm curious about, and through this endeavor, I've learned a lot. I've changed a lot. I look back at my old videos and cringe at who I used to be. But the reward for the struggle is not what I've gained, it's who I've become. So, I encourage you to strive to create something meaningful. Believe in yourself, make mistakes, and turn your imperfections into your strengths. We could be accelerating out of a dark age into a renaissance, the dawning of a new age where we shake off the fog in our minds and rediscover why we are here. The beginning is near.
You are looking for the miracle, unaware that you are the miracle looking. Source. Oh shit! You are looking for the miracle, unaware that you are the miracle looking. Awareness, looking at the miracle. The miracle, looking at the awareness. Awareness, looking at... Come on, y'all. Pete.
Thanks for watching this episode. I truly believe we humans are put here on Earth to create. We all have a creative spark within our hearts that has the potential to light up the world. One of the best ways to share your creations is by building a professional-looking website.
Bernardo, I had this inclination, vision, whatever you want to call it, that this surgence of AI, this growth of AI is going to lead the world, is going to split the world into two. We're going to, again, the Renaissance. We're going to have the old world and we're going to have the new world. And the new world is full of people who want to experience life very slowly, not so much trying to get to the end result, but experiencing life just as it is. You know what I'm saying? Getting back to literally being present with reality, becoming more spiritual. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. A very more wholesome, but how do I say this? Holistic and wholesome lifestyle. The holistic and wholesome lifestyle will be the new world, basically. And the old world will be the fast life. I wouldn't say fast life. Nah, fast life. You know what I'm saying? Trying to get to the end result quicker, trying to get quick shit. You see. Just everything that has to do with trying to get things quicker and trying to get things more easier and not enjoying the process of things. And, that'll be the old world. That's literally how the world is now. Everything is so quick. Everything is so manufactured. Everything is so artificial. Everything is so fucking inauthentic and performative, and that just won't be a thing no more. I feel like it's going to be a resurgence of it's funny because the new world is just going to be older worlds. I always say this, but like Earth moves in cycles. So imagine this. Earth moves like this. It's always moving in cycles. There's nothing new under the sun. Earth moves in like this. But if you look at it from a scale like from sideways is moving like this. So it's always moving forward. Shit is always new shit is always coming to the forefront. But it's always it's always in patterns, basically. Like, you always see some shit in some patterns. Like, it's weird. So when you see this new resurgence that's coming up in this new world, you'll notice, like, damn, this really just getting back to the old times where motherfuckers didn't have, like, phones and shit. Motherfuckers was really, like, back in the 80s, the 90s and shit, where technology wasn't as in your face all the time. You know what I'm saying? When the world had color and everything was more authentic, you know? But I don't know, bro. I don't know, bro. I'm just taking every day as it is, and I'm just excited to see what life has to offer, to see what this world will become, and hopefully I don't live long enough to see some bullshit happen where the end of the world happened. Literally the end of the world. Hopefully I'm able to see, you know, this world become more brighter. Hopefully I can live long enough to or get old enough to be able to see this world be more holistic and wholesome, and, you know, just get back to shit. Basically what I'm saying is me being an old ass grandpa, me having you know what I'm saying, my little shorty on the side, me and her in the rocking chair, you know what I'm saying? We see the grandkids out in the field hitting one of these. You know what I'm saying? Kids going back outside. You know what I'm saying? We on the damn porch on the rocking chair and shit. Like, oh, some old school shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? But that's what I would hope to see. You know, that's why I'm excited. But, you know, who knows, bro? Who knows? But, yeah. That was a good video, though. Great video. Great fucking video.
Yourself is
please don't interrupt me, please. Great fucking video, man. I wanted to get into this allegory of the cave, Plato's cave, because I feel like this is a direct correlation to how shit is gonna be in the future. When it comes down to AI and basically the old world and the new world, the split between how the veil is gonna become real thin. But I'm gonna give y'all a little bit of correlation between it using Plato's cave, and yeah, let's start this new video, bruh. You know. Alright. Once you understand Plato's cave, there's no going back. By Senid. Hey, bro, don't chill on me, bro. I don't know how to say your name. Chill on me, okay? Let's get into the video, bro. There are two ways to be deceived. One is to believe what is not true. The other is to refuse to believe what is true.
Maybe you felt it already. That weird moment where something you used to
This AI slot.
believe in stops feeling real. Not false exactly, just thin, like cardboard, like a movie set you can suddenly see behind. One day you're fine, you're living your normal life, scrolling, working, chasing something you were told would matter. And then, quietly, your mind goes, wait, is this all? And once that question lands, it doesn't leave politely. It moves in. It starts rearranging the furniture. Plato's cave starts right there, not in some ancient classroom, in your everyday life, in the part of you that's been fine for years and suddenly isn't. The story is simple, almost too simple, which is why it's dangerous. A group of people are chained from birth inside a cave. They can't turn around. They can't look anywhere else. All they see is a wall in front of them. Behind them there's a fire, and between the fire and their backs, people carry objects, figures of animals, plants, things. So those objects cast shadows onto the wall. The prisoners watch the shadows their whole lives and call that reality. They name them, they argue about them, they build a whole worldview out of them. And honestly, why wouldn't they? It's the only thing they've ever known. So here's the uncomfortable part. The cave isn't society out there. The cave is whatever you've accepted without questioning. It's the stories you inherited, the definitions you never agreed to but somehow live by. Success, failure, worth, normal, even love sometimes. And there's this line from Kierkegaard that hits like a cold splash of water. There are two ways to be fooled: believing what isn't true and refusing to believe what is true. Most people think the first one is the danger. The second one is worse, because you can't argue with it. You can't wake someone who's clinging to sleep like it's a blanket. People call ignorance bliss, but bliss is only bliss when you don't know you're missing something. Once you notice the wall is a wall, it's over. That's why the title is real. Once you understand Plato's cave, there's no going back. Not because you become better than anyone. No, because you can't unsee what you've seen. A mind that opens to a new idea never returns to its original size. You don't get to shrink yourself again without pain. And if you're already feeling that pain, good. Not good like happy good. Good like you're waking up. Here's what nobody tells you about waking up. It's not comforting. It's not a spa day. It's not angel music. It's disorienting. It's like walking out of a dark cinema into noon sunlight and realizing your eyes have to relearn how to see. In Plato's cave, one prisoner gets unchained. Suddenly he's forced to stand, to turn, to look at the fire, and even that part hurts because the fire is brighter than the shadows. Imagine realizing the thing you thought was reality was just a flickering imitation, and now you're staring at the mechanism that made the imitation. Then he's...
This correlation, I'm going to give correlation to it the best way I can explain it to y'all. It's like when you get put onto some game. So, imagine you're a regular schmegular dude and you want to get into film. You want to get into film, or you want to get into, I don't know, any type of industry. From when you go from the consumer of that that industry to actually being in the industry or being a top mogul of the industry, that is the allegory of the cave. That is Plato's cave in action. You go from being the consumer, being the one that is shown whatever is being projected from the industry, to actually seeing the ins and outs of the industry, seeing what's going on in the industry, seeing what's, you see what I'm saying, being put on game. So like for example, streaming. When you're a consumer of a streamer, you don't really see the tactics in what they do to like get it out to people, what they do to gain a bigger fan base, what they do to, you know what I mean? You only really see the streamer. You only see that, oh, the streamer posts on TikTok, or the streamer does this, they do that, and they're just getting bigger, they're growing. But once you become a streamer, or once you get put on game to what they do as streamers, then you see like the ins and outs. You see the whole mechanism on how it works. Even deeper, there's even deeper game that goes into it. So it's not even just how they do it or how they gain a fan base, but how are they grabbing your attention as the consumer or as the person that's watching their content. That's the game that gets played on the consumer a lot. And, you know, obviously the consumer is the person that's, you know, staring at the imitations with the shackles on. And the person that, you know, chooses to take off the shackles, walk up, is the person who, you know, is being put on game. But this is the best example I can give. It's basically you getting put on game to these things. Yeah. Once you see the game being played, you really can't unsee it. It really takes you to then become a wise fool to be able to indulge in the type of to indulge in the game, even though you can see it. I was gonna give another example. Fuck. Damn. I was gonna give another example, but I'm like, oh, nihilism. There we go. Nihilism is another form of like Plato's cave. You have, you know, the part where you're, you know, you're the prisoner basically. You're the prisoner watching the imitations, and that aspect, that aspect is when people are chasing for material value. People are trying to chase for a goal or chase for, you know, they're just blindly chasing, you know, pointless shit. They're just chasing goals, and they're going for passions and aspirations blindly without understanding their purpose or without understanding why they're chasing it. They're just blindly chasing it because, you know, it's something that they seen on, you know, the internet, or, you know, they probably see that, you know, it is basically off what they see. They're being influenced to go for their aspiration and their dreams. But then once they actually do the inner work and they start actually tapping into their purpose, then they're rising up. They're climbing up the stairs. They see behind the illusions. They see all behind all that shit. And finally, when they get out of the cave, they realize, oh shit, none of this shit really matters. None of this shit matters. All of this shit is pointless. All of this shit is meaningless. And that's where nihilism hits. But then, what cancels out that nihilism is realizing that you are the creator of this meaningless world. You create the meaning to this meaningless life, I guess you could say. Once you put meaning to something, that's when it starts to, how do I explain it? Once you put meaning to something, that's when it becomes meaningful, basically. And that's you basically going back to the cave and choosing to kind of integrate yourself again with the illusion. It's not saying that you want to be a part of the illusion, but it's saying that you see through the illusion and you're willing to integrate yourself. You see the beauty of the illusion. You're willing to, you know, indulge yourself in the illusion still. Yeah, that's the best way I can explain it. If you feel what I mean, you get what I mean. But you did what I'm trying to say, bro. Oh shit.
Dragged outside, not gently, dragged. And the first thing he feels isn't enlightenment, it's pain. His eyes burn, he's confused. He misses the cave, which sounds crazy until you realize the cave was predictable. The shadows were familiar. Familiar can feel like safety, even when it's a cage. So the moment you start questioning your old life, don't be surprised if part of you wants to run back. Don't shame yourself for it either. The nervous system loves familiar patterns, even painful ones, especially painful ones you've learned to survive. Plato uses that progression for a reason. First, the freed prisoner can only handle reflections in water. Then he can look at objects directly. Then he can look at the sky. And only after time, after adjustment, can he look at the sun, the source of light itself. In Plato's language, that's not just sun. That's truth. That's the form of the good, the deepest reality behind reality. So the journey isn't just learn new information, it's transformation. Your perception changes, your identity changes, what you want changes, what you're willing to tolerate changes. And yes, people around you might not like that. Socrates said, "The unexamined life isn't worth living." People quote it like a motivational poster. But in real life, an examined life can be lonely for a while. Because the moment you start seeing the shadows as shadows, you stop playing certain games. You stop chasing certain things just because everyone else claps for them. Fame can start looking like a mirage. A perfect partner can start looking like a projection. A prestigious profession can start looking like a costume someone handed you when you were too young to say no. None of this means those things are evil. It just means you're finally asking, is this real for me, or am I just repeating a script? And that question, once it becomes honest, changes everything. That's your first step out of the cave. Not a dramatic breakthrough, just honesty. The kind of honesty that makes you swallow hard and look away for a second because it's too real. And then you look back anyway. Now comes the part nobody wants, but everyone meets, the return. Because eventually you try to bring what you've learned back into your old world. You talk differently. You move differently. You can't pretend as well. Sometimes you try to explain to people you love what you've realized, and you think you're being helpful. And somehow, it goes badly. You expected relief. You expected, yes, you're right. What you get is defensive jokes, irritation, dismissal, maybe even anger. And you're standing there like, wait, why are you mad? I'm trying to free you. Plato predicted this perfectly. When the freed prisoner returns to the cave, his eyes can't adjust to the darkness anymore. He can't see the shadows clearly. The prisoners watch him struggle and say basically, see, leaving ruined him. He's blinded. He's stupid now. And in Plato's story, if they could get their hands on him, they'd kill him for trying to unchain them. Harsh, right? But then you remember what happened to Socrates, Plato's teacher, condemned to death for questioning the norms of his society. Same pattern. Society often doesn't punish ignorance. Society punishes disruption. And if you zoom out, you see this pattern everywhere, like it's stitched into the human story. Prometheus, a titan whose name means forethought. He sees humans struggling in the dark and steals fire from the gods to give to them. Fire in that myth isn't just warmth. Fire is knowledge. Fire is civilization. Fire is the spark that turns helplessness into creativity. And what happens to Prometheus? He's chained to a rock and tortured daily, not because he harmed humans, because he changed the balance of power. He brought people light. See the connection? The freed prisoner and Prometheus are the same archetype wearing different clothes. The one who goes up, sees more, then comes back holding something that changes everything. And here's what's heartbreaking. The people still chained usually don't say thank you, because the cave doesn't feel like a prison to them. It feels like reality. And any attempt to pull them out feels like violence, like you're trying to take away their world, which in a way, you are. So patience matters, empathy matters. Some people aren't ready to leave the cave, not yet. For them, the shadows still feel safer than the sun. And honestly, you can't force someone to see. You can't drag someone into truth like you're dragging a couch up a staircase.
And that's ego. That's the problem. That's a problem I had before. That was an ongoing problem. Like, not even just once, but it was like multiple times where I'd get really like upset and irritated. Where I'm just like, bro, like, why the fuck are people so fucking ignorant? But then I came to a finalized understanding where I'm like, you know, it's not meant for everybody to see through this shit. And it's really not everybody's time. It, honestly, if people are called to leave the cave, then it's called for them to leave the cave. If people are not called for them, if it's not called for them to leave the cave, then they will stay in the cave. it's not for you to then try to pull them or try to force them or try to go on a fucking adventure to pull them out of the cave. No, it's, to be honest, if you want to, it is then, if you want to, you can give them the seed. Give them the seed to be able to choose to plant later on if they want to or not. But it's not your job to, force any knowledge upon a person. It is their job to go out and seek it. It's their job to leave the cave. Once you start trying to force somebody to obtain some knowledge, or you force somebody to or you guilt trip, or you do any type of weird shit to try to force somebody into gaining some knowledge, that's not their problem. That's a you problem. That's a you problem because it's coming directly from your ego. You feel, your ego feels that you're somewhere better than a person because you have this knowledge, and you feel like you have to have some type of superiority over them to, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's all an egoic thing when you try to force people into this type of knowledge. And it's egoic because you're trying to, basically, you're trying to get more people onto your type of, the way that you think, so then you can kind of validate it. So then the brain can kind of validate it. When you should just be okay with the knowledge that you have. Not be okay, but have conviction in the knowledge that you have. And be okay with, you know what I'm saying, whether people believe it or whether they don't believe it. Nigga, you still know what you know, and it's that's that. Like, you don't care if you give it out or if you don't. You don't care if you give the seed to somebody or if you don't. You got the knowledge. You understand what you understand. And if somebody don't want to understand it, somebody don't want to learn it, hey, it's out of your hands from there. That's what I'm building my channel off of. I don't want all types of people up in this motherfucker, because I understand that not everybody wants to leave the cave. But for the people who have already took the seed, want to grow the seed, want to leave the cave, and see the game that's being played on them, that's the beacon. My channel or my account, is like a beacon for people to kind of see through that shit. You see what I'm saying? To lead them through that shit, to guide them through that shit. But other than that, I'm not here to be nobody's teacher. I'm not here to be nobody's preacher. I'm not here to force people to, do something that they don't want to do. No. It's simple as this. Do you want the seed? Do you want the knowledge? Yes or no? If you don't, hey, go on to the next person who wants it. Or, whoever wants it, they'll attract to me. But other than that, it really isn't that deep it's not that deep to get people into this knowledge, bro. It's really not. Like, if people don't want to get onto it, it is what it is. Allow them to be them. It is what it is, brother.
All you can do is live differently, speak gently, keep your heart open, and understand the strange truth Kierkegaard pointed to. Refusing to believe what's true is one of the deepest forms of being fooled. Not because people are stupid, because fear is persuasive. Fear whispers, stay where you know the rules. And
I was going to say fear. But ignorance, I don't see ignorance. Like, the way I think nowadays, I don't see ignorance or being a fool as something, as like you being stupid. I don't see it as that at all. Like, the best example I can give is like Forrest Gump. Like, he was a fucking fool, but he amounted to so much from being a fool. You see this nowadays with a lot of people. Like, a lot of people are fools. They have not left the cave, but they amount to so much. Now, eventually, depending on the fool, if they not put on game, let's say if they reach the level of fame and fortune, they end up losing it all and blowing the fortune on bullshit because they didn't get put on game at all. They didn't get, leave the cave at all. So it's one of those things. But I don't see ignorance or being a fool as stupid. I just see it as, again, you being ignorant. You don't know. You don't know better. So how can you ever do better if you don't know better? You see what I'm saying?
Joseph Campbell called it the hero's journey. And once you see it, you start noticing it everywhere. Myths, religions, novels, movies, even the quiet turning points in your own life that didn't look heroic at the time. Campbell mapped this pattern into 3 stages: departure, initiation, and return. Leave the familiar world, face trials and revelations, come back changed, carrying something for others. Plato's cave fits it perfectly. Prometheus fits it perfectly. And here's the thing, your life fits it more than you realize. Departure doesn't always look like quitting your job and moving to a mountain. Sometimes departure is internal. It's the moment you stop lying to yourself. It's when you admit, I'm not okay living like this. Or, I don't believe what everyone believes. Or even, I've been performing my life instead of living it. That's the call to adventure. It's subtle. It's rarely dramatic. It's often inconvenient. And you'll probably try to ignore it at first, because ignoring it lets you keep your old identity intact a little longer. Initiation is the messy middle, the confusion, the discomfort, the part where old beliefs fall apart and new ones haven't fully formed yet. That's the bright sunlight phase. Your eyes hurt, your mind scrambles, and you miss the cave sometimes. People romanticize transformation, but real transformation is awkward. It's like shedding skin. And during this stage, you start seeing how many goals were really just shadows. Society projected them onto the wall. Everyone agreed to clap, and you joined in because you wanted to belong. Again, no shame. Humans are wired.
And or you see your own shadows. Not necessarily like influence wants. When she means shadows, she means like wants. So it's not necessarily influenced wants coming from other people, but you see your own personal wants as well. Like, you see how pointless your own personal wants become, and how selfish they are. You know what I mean? Personally, I battled a lot with lust. So a lot of my goals were prioritized through lust. So once I broke down lust for me, that's when I broke down a lot of my wants. And that's when I started wanting less. I realized that I didn't really want much. Like, I'm like, once I free myself from lust, I'm like, damn, I really don't want much. Like, I don't need these things. I don't really want these things. These things don't really hold much purpose or control over me anymore, or influence over me. So it's like you break down when you shed, you're shedding your skin. You're continuously breaking down from the wants, not the wants, the desires, the so-called needs that you come from, or you want, the desires that are influenced, the influential desires, or the desires that are pushed upon you, and then the desires that you personally want, the ones that come from you, the ones that come from your personality. You kind of break those down, and it's like a sequence.
For belonging, but now you're wired for truth too, and those two don't always hold hands. Return is where your soul gets tested, not because you're meant to be some savior, because you're meant to embody what you've learned. Buddhism tells a version of this. Prince Siddhartha leaves luxury, sees suffering, searches for truth, becomes the Buddha, and then returns to share what he's realized, met with both acceptance and resistance. Confucian thought points to the superior man, who learns and reflects, not for ego, but for the benefit of society. Taoism whispers something softer. Wisdom comes from a deep alignment with nature and the self, a seeing beyond surface noise. Different cultures, same heartbeat. Even modern stories keep retelling it, because it's not just entertainment, it's a mirror. The Matrix is basically Plato's cave in a leather jacket, a world of shadows, a sudden awakening, a painful adjustment to reality. Then the choice, go back to sleep, or live awake and carry the burden of seeing. And that's the real choice in your own life too. Not once, over and over. Every time you catch yourself slipping back into comfort, just because truth feels heavy. Plato's cave isn't a cute metaphor. It's a warning and an invitation. Most lives are lived in obscurity, not because people
and mediocrity,
evil, but because conditioning is strong. Yet it becomes a duty, at some point, to step toward the light, not to escape society, but to stop being ruled by illusions that society collectively validates. Because when everyone agrees on a shadow, the shadow starts getting treated like law, and you, quietly, become someone who no longer worships the wall. Once you understand Plato's cave, you can't unknow it. You can still participate in the world, sure. You can still have goals, relationships, ambitions. But you won't be able to pretend the shadows are the sun. You won't be able to live on autopilot forever. Something in you will keep asking for honesty, and that's not a curse. It's the beginning of freedom. A strange freedom, sometimes heavy, sometimes lonely, but clean. Like fresh air after a long time in a crowded room. Right now, the question isn't whether the cave exists. The question is whether you'll keep calling it home just because it's familiar. Courage doesn't always look like grand rebellion. Sometimes courage is simply turning your head, facing the fire, taking the first step into light even while your eyes burn. And if leaving means you outgrow certain people, certain habits, certain scripts, painful as it is, that's part of the path. As Manly Palmer Hall said, the hours may be long and the teacher cruel, but each of us must walk that road, so walk it, not as a performance, not as a trend. Walk it because your soul is tired of shadows. Walk it because you already know, deep down, you were made for sunlight.
No, I'm surprised. That was a good ass AI slot video, man. That was a good, I can't call it slot. That was a good AI video, bro. I thought it was gonna be some bullshit slot video, but it was pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. But the correlation I wanted to make with the Plato's cave and this new AI renaissance that's coming up is the split basically between the people who want to stay comfortable in this lifestyle of instant gratification and instant dopamine. Basically, you know what I'm saying, getting what they want without having any sort of skill behind it, I guess you could say, or having to not have to do too much to gain enlightenment, or have to, you know what I'm saying, not having to do too much to gain everything or gain a lot. It's gonna be a big split between that and obviously a more holistic lifestyle, more wholesome lifestyle. Baseline, the prisoners will be the people who are the consumers, the people who want to achieve everything but won't want to do no work, the people who want fast results, the people who want, fast dopamine, instant gratification. Those are the type of people that will stay prisoners within the cave and won't grow to the new world. They'll stay stuck in the AI world, in which the AI world will feel amazing because it'll give you everything you want. The AI world will give you everything you want. You won't have to do too much. You won't have to. It'll give you everything you want, everything you need, and it is all at your fingertips. But you'll have the folks that will, leave the cave, that will, what is the word? That will reject this whole AI renaissance, this whole, this big come up of AI. You'll have people who will reject it and want to live a more holistic lifestyle. They'll stay off their phones more. They'll get outside more. They'll start talking to more people. They'll enjoy, whatever passions they have. You know what I'm saying? They'll start seeking for, delayed gratification. And, life will start becoming more slower, more holistic, more whole, more wholesome. You get what I'm trying to say? And you'll see those type of people who will they'll exit the cave. Now, depending on if to be honest, I don't think people will try to come back for the other people, but that's my correlation with the allegory of the cave or Plato's cave and AI, the AI Renaissance, or the new Renaissance that's coming up. But yeah, bro, I don't know, man. Honestly, really do love the Plato's cave for the reason of, like, it's such a good representation of how to explain change in the world, or change within a person, like genuine change. A person going from ignorance to enlightenment, a person going from being a victim or a prisoner of the game to being put on the game and being obviously being part of the game, or understanding the game. So it's really cool to see. I wanted to make a correlation to Spider-Man. Obviously Spider-Man is coming. The Spider-Man movie is coming up, and in the trailer, especially with the theories and shit, I've been putting in like a whole bunch of my mind since I've gotten like this new found wisdom of like esoteric knowledge and shit. I've been putting like puzzle pieces together with like how they were saying like the three spider the life cycles of a spider, and what I'm saying, what Peter's going through and all this, and I'm gonna figure out a video to react to be able to dive deep into that into the whole concept of Spider-Man and how he's intertwined with the hero's journey, or I'm gonna end up making one. Whatever one, I really want to talk about how Spider-Man is correlated with the Plato's cave and the hero's journey, especially the one in the MCU. The MCU and what is it called? Not only the MCU one with Tom Holland, but also what is his name? Oh my God, the first Spider-Man, bro. Damn. Oh fuck. I can't believe I forgot his name, but y'all know what I mean. I'm gonna figure out if I can find a reaction video for it, or if not, then I'm gonna make the video. But yeah, I really want to do it because, nigga, I love me some Spider-Man, my nigga. I love me some Spider-Man. I love me some Deadpool. Those like two of my favorite superheroes. Spider-Man as a kid, but as I got older, Deadpool started to become my favorite hero. Or, I won't even say hero, but favorite Marvel character. I'll say that. Spider-Man and Deadpool, two of my favorite Marvel characters. Them niggas is goated. I don't care what nobody say, bro. But, hell yeah, bro. That was a good correlation, but that was a good video, though. Hell yeah, hell yeah. Hell yeah. Alright. For the next video, we're going to talk about how you can find your soul, how to get more connected with your soul. And Carl Jung is going to be the one that's going to help us with this. So let's get into this next video, man. Let's get it. How to find your own soul according to Carl Jung by Whispering Ideas. Let's get into the video, bro.
What if everything you think you know about yourself is a lie? Carl Jung believed that your true self, your soul, has been buried deep within your unconscious, hidden behind masks you don't even know you're wearing. The only way to find it is to look inside, where you'll confront your darkest fears, integrate both the masculine and feminine forces within you, and shatter the illusion of who you think you are. In this video, we're going to break down Jung's roadmap to uncovering the soul and show you how to reclaim the parts of yourself that you've abandoned along the way. So, what does it mean to become whole? According to Carl Jung, individuation is the process of doing exactly that, becoming a complete person, integrated and unified in every aspect of your being. But this isn't a simple or quick journey. Jung described individuation as a lifelong process.
You know what's funny? Through understanding yourself as an individual, you start to understand the greater whole, or the greater part that you play in the collective consciousness. So through understanding your own consciousness, through diving deep and learning your own consciousness, you start to understand that you play a bigger role, and you are actually part of a greater consciousness, which is actually fucking insane. But it all starts through diving into your own individual first, who you are at its core, your own consciousness.
One that demands you confront parts of yourself you may not even know exist. Individuation is the process of becoming a whole person. Think of it as a journey toward uniting the many facets of your personality: your conscious mind, your unconscious desires, your rational thoughts, your emotional instincts, even your shadow, the parts of yourself you might not want to acknowledge. Jung believed that all of these parts must be integrated for you to achieve psychological wholeness. Jung once said, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." Individuation is exactly this: becoming the truest version of yourself, one that is not fragmented but complete. This process doesn't involve eliminating parts of who you are, but rather embracing them. It's about recognizing and reconciling the contradictions within you, your light and your shadow, your strengths and your weaknesses. What makes individuation so challenging is that it requires us to integrate all aspects of our personality, even those we'd rather ignore. Jung called the parts of ourselves we suppress or deny the shadow. The shadow is made up of all the things we hide from the world, and sometimes from ourselves: our fears, insecurities, impulses, and weaknesses. Jung believed that integrating the shadow is a crucial part of becoming whole. He said, one does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. In other words, we can't simply focus on the positive or comfortable aspects of ourselves. To truly grow, we must confront and accept the darker, more difficult parts of our nature. This process is not about judgment or shame. Instead, it's about understanding that all parts of you have value and serve a purpose. By integrating them, you gain a deeper sense of self-awareness and balance. You become a more authentic version of yourself, no longer hiding or rejecting parts of who you are. Individuation is not something that happens overnight. It's not a goal you can check off a list or a destination you reach at a specific point in life. Jung believed
That's what people think shadow work is. Like, people swear up and down shadow work is just this, oh, it's just this cherry thing, and I'm going to be able to do it overnight or in a week or so. No. You're constantly doing shadow work. Constantly, consistently doing shadow work. That shit don't stop.
that individuation is a lifelong journey. Each stage of life offers new opportunities for growth, new challenges to face, and new aspects of yourself to integrate. This ongoing process of individuation often begins with a crisis or turning point, moments when the old ways of living no longer seem to work. Jung believed that these moments, rather than being setbacks, are actually openings to deeper self-discovery. It's in these periods of uncertainty and discomfort that we are forced to confront parts of ourselves we've long ignored. Individuation is not about becoming perfect or reaching a final state of enlightenment. It's about becoming whole, embracing all aspects of your humanity, and continuing to grow and evolve throughout your life. Individuation and the persona. In Jungian psychology, the persona is the mask we present to the outside world. It's the public face we show to others, our social roles, behaviors, and appearances.
And this is not bad. When I was first realizing that the mask that you put on for other people is fake, I started to kind of reject it and demonize it. But it's not bad. Understand that any aspect of you is you. Even if it's a performative aspect of you. Even if it's a mask. You put on a mask for other people. It's still you. It's just a more performative aspect of you. You see what I'm saying? The biggest example I can give is when it comes down to manners. Manners is not something that is authentic. It is performative. You have something that is obviously needs to be said in your head that is probably rude to the next person, or is probably not nice to say out loud to the person. But you say it in your head and you you keep silent, because what do we learn? If you have nothing good to say, don't say it at all. It's manners. That's an example of being performative. That's putting on a mask so you can become more likable, or you can present yourself better. You get what I'm trying to say? Same thing when you're around your parents. When you're around your parents, you don't have the same mask on as if you're around your friends. When you're around your friends, you don't have the same mask on when you're around a stranger. You see what I'm saying? There's different masks you put on around different people, different people and in different places. The point is to become aware of the mask that you're putting on, and to try to integrate more authentic parts of yourself as much as possible. It's not saying that you're going to be perfect, or you know what I'm saying, but it's to try to integrate as much of your authentic self into the mask as possible. It's to be aware of the mask that you put on for other people, and to try to integrate your more authentic aspects of yourself into those masks. You see what I'm saying?
While it's necessary for functioning in society, the persona can become problematic when it strays too far from our authentic self. The persona represents how we want to be seen by others. It's the version of ourselves that fits into social expectations, our professional demeanor, how we behave around friends, or the way we present ourselves in different situations. Jung saw the persona as essential for navigating life, but he also warned that we must be careful not to confuse the persona with our true identity. As he wrote, the persona is that which in reality one is not, but which oneself as well as others think one is. In other words, the persona is a social mask that may hide who we really are. We all adopt different personas depending on the setting, how we behave at work versus with friends, or how we act in public versus when we're alone.
See?
This is a natural part of interacting with society. However, problems arise when we over-identify with the persona, leading to a disconnection from our inner self. This happens when we suppress parts of ourselves that don't align with the mask we wear. We may hide our vulnerabilities, suppress our true emotions, or conform to social norms just to be accepted. The more we suppress, the more distant we become from our true identity. Jung warned that over-reliance on the persona can lead to a fractured sense of self. When we become too attached to the roles we play or the image we project, we lose touch with our inner world. This can create inner tension, as the persona becomes a barrier between our true self and the world. He emphasized, "The world will ask you who you are, and if you do not know, the world will tell you." The more we wear the mask, the harder it becomes to recognize what's underneath. To achieve individuation, we must acknowledge the persona for what it is, a useful mask, but not the core of who we are. The goal is not to eliminate the persona, but to recognize its limitations. We need it to function in society, but we must also learn to peel it away when necessary and reconnect with our authentic self. It's about finding a balance between the mask we wear for the world and the person we truly are underneath. Individuation also requires facing the shadow. Every person carries a shadow. It's the part of us that we often try to hide, suppress, or deny. According to Jung, the shadow is the dark side of our personality, the part that remains buried deep within our unconscious mind.
To have some manners.
While we may not always be aware of it, the shadow influences our behavior, decisions, and emotions in profound ways. At its core, the shadow represents everything we reject or ignore about ourselves. It's the unconscious mind, filled with thoughts, feelings, and traits that we don't want to face. These could be qualities that society deems unacceptable, such as anger, jealousy, or greed. Jung believed that because we don't consciously acknowledge these parts of ourselves, they live in the unconscious. But just because we repress these feelings doesn't mean they disappear. Instead, they influence us in subtle and sometimes destructive ways. As Jung said, everyone carries a shadow, and the less it is embodied in the individual's conscious life, the blacker and denser it is. In other words, the more we ignore our shadow, the more power it has over us. Acknowledging the shadow is the first step toward becoming more self-aware and, ultimately, more whole. The shadow is composed of all the thoughts and feelings we push aside, our insecurities, our flaws, our weaknesses, but it's not just negative traits that get repressed. Sometimes the shadow contains positive qualities that we've suppressed because they don't fit with how we want to be perceived. For example, A person who values being logical might suppress their creativity or emotions because they believe it doesn't align with their rational identity. Jung believed that these repressed thoughts and feelings don't just sit dormant in the unconscious. Instead, they surface in indirect ways, often through behaviors we don't fully understand. This is why we sometimes react in ways that seem out of character or over the top. These reactions are signals that parts of our shadow are coming to the surface. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate, Jung said. This means that until we acknowledge our shadow, it will continue to influence our actions without us realizing it. Recognizing these repressed elements of ourselves allows us to take back control and live more intentionally. Jung also emphasized that the shadow is not inherently evil, though it can be a source of both darkness and light. While it often contains traits that are considered negative or undesirable, it can also be a source of immense creativity, passion, and strength. The energy contained within the shadow, when properly integrated, can fuel personal growth and transformation. Jung once explained that the shadow is a moral problem that challenges the whole ego personality, for no one can become conscious of the shadow without considerable moral effort. By facing our shadow, we confront not only our capacity for harm, but also our potential for greatness. This is why Jung saw the shadow as a dual force. It can manifest in both destructive and constructive ways. When the shadow remains unacknowledged, it can lead to negative consequences, such as projecting our unresolved issues onto others. However, when we confront and integrate the shadow, it becomes a source of inner power and balance. Accepting our shadow means accepting the full spectrum of who we are, both the light and the dark. Jung further emphasized that to achieve wholeness, we must also embrace the anima and animus. Within each of us lies a reflection of the opposite gender, what Carl Jung called the anima and animus. These are powerful forces embedded in our psyche, representing the feminine side within men and the masculine side within women. According to Jung, these elements are essential for achieving psychological balance and wholeness, just as important as integrating the shadow. The anima represents the feminine aspect of a man's unconscious mind. It's more than just societal ideas of femininity. It embodies qualities like emotion, intuition, empathy, and creativity. Jung believed that for men to become whole, they must confront and integrate their anima. In doing so, they allow themselves to access parts of their psyche that would otherwise remain unexplored, often those related to deeper emotional connections and intuitive understanding. Jung explained, "The anima is the archetype of life itself. It's the gateway to a man's unconscious, and integrating the anima helps him develop a more well-rounded and complete personality. Without acknowledging the anima, a man may suppress or reject parts of his emotional world, leading to an unbalanced and rigid self-image. In women, the animus represents the masculine side of the unconscious. This archetype encompasses qualities like logic, assertiveness, strength, and rationality. While these traits may appear outwardly masculine, Jung argued that for a woman to become psychologically whole, she must integrate her animus and access these inner strengths. Jung said, "The animus is the deposit, as it were, of all woman's ancestral experiences of man. And not only that, he is also a creative source. Just as the anima connects men to the deeper emotional layers of their psyche, the animus connects women to a wellspring of rationality and inner power. Integrating the animus doesn't mean becoming cold or overly rational. Instead, it offers women a sense of inner strength and confidence that balances their emotional and intuitive nature. When these masculine traits are embraced rather than repressed, they provide a foundation for self-expression and action in the world." Jung believed that the anima and animus are not just opposites to be balanced, but rather complementary forces within the human psyche. He emphasized that both are essential for wholeness. To become truly complete, a person must embrace both the masculine and feminine aspects within themselves, regardless of gender. This process is a part of individuation, the journey toward becoming the truest version of oneself. Jung famously said, "Wholeness is not achieved by cutting off a portion of one's being, but by integration of the contraries." This means we cannot simply reject the anima or animus as unnecessary. Both are integral to a well-rounded and balanced personality. In men, the feminine qualities of the anima bring emotional depth, empathy, and creativity. In women, the animus offers rationality, inner strength, and assertiveness. Together, they guide us toward a more complete understanding of ourselves and our place in the world. When the anima and animus are integrated, they help us transcend rigid gender roles and cultural expectations, allowing us to tap into the full spectrum of human potential. It's about bringing harmony between the masculine and feminine, balancing the rational and emotional, and embracing all the qualities that make us human. When we integrate the shadow, persona, the anima, and animus, we move closer to the ultimate goal of individuation, the self, the complete, authentic harmony of all aspects of who we are. At the core of Carl Jung's theory of individuation lies the self, the true, authentic self that encompasses the entirety of who we are. It represents the final stage of personal development, where all the different aspects of our personality come together in harmony. This is not just about becoming a better version of ourselves, but about becoming the most complete, whole version. Jung saw the self as the ultimate goal of individuation, the process of psychological integration. The self, in Jungian terms, is not simply who we are in the present moment. It is the totality of our being, including the conscious and unconscious aspects of our mind. It is our deepest, most authentic self, the part of us that remains after we've peeled away the layers of societal expectations, ego defenses, and superficial identities. As Jung put it, the self is not only the center, but also the whole circumference which embraces both conscious and unconscious. It is the center of this totality, just as the ego is the center of consciousness. The self is the most profound aspect of our identity, representing our fullest potential as human beings. Achieving connection with the self means becoming who you truly are, independent of external validation, projections, or masks we often wear in daily life. It's about accepting every part of ourselves, the good and the bad, the light and the shadow, and uniting them into a cohesive, authentic whole. The self is more than just a static identity. It is the dynamic intersection of all the various aspects of who we are. This includes not only the conscious aspects of our personality, our values, beliefs, and behaviors, but also the unconscious parts like the shadow, the anima or animus, and other archetypal energies. Jung described this process as one where the different parts of the personality become harmonized. Individuation, the journey toward the self, requires us to confront and integrate these various parts, even the ones we may initially resist or fear. It's through this process of integration that we become whole. The self acts as the organizing principle that brings unity to the diversity of our psyche. Instead of seeing ourselves as fragmented or conflicted, individuation allows us to recognize that every part of us, our rational mind, emotions, unconscious desires, and even our darker impulses, can coexist in balance. It's the acceptance of these contradictions and the ability to reconcile them that leads to a fuller, more authentic life. The self represents the state of being fully realized. To achieve this state, we must embrace the totality of our existence, including the parts of ourselves we'd rather avoid. This is not about perfection, but about completion, about becoming the most integrated and authentic version of ourselves. Jung believed that this process of self-realization is not just psychological, but also spiritual, as it involves connecting to something greater than our individual ego. Jung wrote, "Individuation is the process by which a person becomes a psychological individual, that is, a separate, indivisible unity or whole. This wholeness is the ultimate goal of individuation. It's the point where we transcend the narrow confines of the ego and experience the unity of all parts of ourselves, bringing us closer to our true essence. While achieving the self is a lifelong journey, every step we take toward it brings us closer to true fulfillment." Jung viewed this state as a kind of psychological enlightenment, where we are no longer ruled by unconscious forces, but instead live in harmony with all aspects of our being. It's a state where we no longer seek external validation because we have found our inner center, the self.
To me, there's a...
Damn, chill. Anyway, I kind of zoned out at that last part, the last few parts. As y'all see, I was not talking. Alright, but no, as far as the only thing with becoming more authentic and integrating all aspects of yourself is also integrating the more unpleasant aspects of yourself. Those parts are kind of like, for me, the way I see it is, if you have more unpleasant aspects of yourself, you can go down two routes. You can accept them and integrate them, or you can choose to change them. But the goal is to become aware of them. The goal is to become conscious and aware of those more unpleasant aspects of yourself, the parts of yourself that you stuff down into your shadow. You see what I mean? You need to become aware of them, because if you don't, then they start to slip out. Then they start to act on their own after a while. You see what I mean? Repression does not make anything go away. It just kind of builds up the pressure for it to bust open again. So when it comes down to those more unpleasant aspects of yourself and you realize it's unpleasant, you either, one, do the work to accept those aspects of yourself, to integrate them, or you choose to change those aspects of yourself. You actually do the work to change it and to, again, change it. But again, the goal is to be aware of the more unpleasant aspects of yourself. But not just those, but to just be more aware of all aspects of yourself. Become aware of self, basically. But yeah, that was a good video, man. I don't even know if I liked it. I ain't gonna lie, I zoned out real quick, bro. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I think I was just thinking about, bro, when he said when somebody asks you who you are, what do you say? It took me out, because I'm like, dang, what do I say? It's not saying I haven't done the work to figure out who I am, but I wouldn't, like, if somebody randomly just came up to me and asked me who am I? I mean, like, I have never thought that far to think, like, or to be prepared for that question. You see what I'm saying? I probably would have just started putting things on the fly. Like, if somebody asked me that question, I would have started actually thinking about who I am. But thinking about that, I'm like, dang, like, if somebody asks me who I am, this is now the time to actually start thinking about, like, basically putting the answer together. I came up with some answers, but yeah, that was a good video. I fuck with that video, man. I was gonna get into this video. I might get into the video tomorrow or the day after tomorrow, maybe. But that shit's like 2 hours long. I don't wanna. It's already pushing it, and this video damn near 30. It's gonna be 30 by the time I'm done with it. So, why intuition is superior to logic. Time it is. Yeah, we can knock out this one before I get off. Alright, last video. Why intuition is superior to logic. Source? By Hyperborean Knowledge. Hyperborean Knowledge. Let's get into it, man.
Time. Without our intuition, we would be so much more behind than what we are today.
Oh.
Intuition beats logic every single time. Without our intuition, we would be so much more behind than what we are today. We need our ability to read omens. We need our ability to feel. We need our ability to suss out if something isn't right. If somebody is weird, if somebody seems off, trust your gut, trust your instinct. Don't try to logically figure out what's going on with them. If something is telling you, if a thread is pulling you in a certain direction, if you have a certain hunch about something.
Yo, this remind me. This is literally TikTok, bro. Source? Where's your sources? Bring your sources. What is your reasoning? The inner wisdom told me. Ugly. That is how it really be though.
Follow it. It doesn't matter if it seems odd or bizarre or weird. You should be following where your gut leads you, because there's so many instances in history, even scientists having dreams, having visions, and finding something that was not previously known. And we'll get into certain examples of that later, but it's completely valid to trust your gut.
Now, I want to bring a correlation with the movie Forrest Gump. Forrest Gump is like the perfect example of like follow your gut, follow your intuition. Even if like Forrest Gump was obviously a fool, like he was a damn fool. He was not right? But he always trusted how he felt. He always trusted his gut. He always trusted literally his intuition. And look how far and how many experiences he gained just off following his gut, just off following his instinct and his gut feeling. You don't need to be a fucking genius or some, like, you know what I'm saying? 9 times out of 10, what is for you will automatically be what is for you will already be written within your script. It will already be written for you. So all you need to do is trust the guidance that is given, that's gonna guide you to what's for you. You see what I'm saying? And what's for you is always gonna be within your best interest. It's never gonna be not in your best interest. You see what I'm saying?
People like to make fun of feelings or, facts over feelings. And yeah, I get the joke, but really, feelings are more important than what people give them credit for. And most people still are operating on a feeling-based basis. Even if you like to think that you're some cold, logical, rational human being, you're driven by unconscious forces and forces beyond your comprehension in terms of the metaphysical. Depending on where the stars are, depending on what runic day we're on, something's going to be pulling you in a certain direction. Now, we think that we know everything because of the scientific method, but there was many scientists who weren't using the scientific method and were given something from the beyond or from a god or from a spirit or whatever you want to call it, and they received something that was powerful. Now, maybe this is the subconscious mind relaying information back to them via a dream, but it still proves that the subconscious mind is powerful. Like a painting. You can learn more about Hyperborea than the painting Exodus from Hyperborea than any book, any video, any commentator, anything. That visual medium of absorbing information is so powerful, and we don't even fully understand it yet, but it is a sigil. It's a meme, magical sigil. We'll get into meme magic a bit. I know it's tired. I know it's played out. I know everybody already has heard everything about that, but it's relevant. And it's this ability to absorb information from a visual medium using our intuition that can grant you insights that you can't typically get to by just trying to consciously come to that realization via language in your mind. And there's one practice I do to strengthen these types of intuitive abilities. I call it runic raw dogging. And when you do a runic raw dog, you're just staring at a rune, not trying to decipher it, not trying to understand it, just staring at a rune. This could work with tarot too, but I prefer the runes. But whatever type of tool you use, if you just focus in on it and just gaze into that image and just let your mind, your subconscious mind, your spirit, your energy just kind of flow in alignment with that type of image, you will unlock more powers within your subconscious mind, within your spirit soul. You will gain prana, you will gain vril, you will gain chi, kai. It's kind of like a form of creating an internal spirit bomb. So when you look at a picture like the Hyperborean art, it's relaying things to you. And your subconscious is absorbing that information and decoding it. And that's the process of which you can learn how to read into things at a higher level, how you can understand predictive programming, how you can understand symbolism, how you can understand all these threads and how to weave them together is that the more you try to consciously grasp them in your head and juggle these ideas logically, the harder it's going to be to understand them. The better thing to do is just stare at sigils or stare at images or stare at these architectural designs and let the subconscious, let the intuition deprogram. Now, I say the subconscious because that's kind of what we understand here, but in reality, I think it's just your soul, like the deeper part of your being, and we just call it the subconscious. But I think it's more metaphysical than that. So that's how you come to these conclusions at a faster rate, I think. That's how you can kind of speed run things. For instance, I've had hunches about things that, I thought nobody else thought. I thought that I had this hunch about the sea people. I knew the sea people weren't just mysterious wanderers that nobody knew anything about, and then one day they showed up on the scene and they started the Bronze Age collapse. That did not feel like it was a proper explanation to me. Like, it did not feel right. We have all these scientists and all these archaeologists just, this is it, we don't have to look any deeper into these sea peoples. They came out of nowhere, and that's it. That's all we can say. But I had this intuitive feeling that they were some sort of Indo-European tribe from the north. I could see it. They were Bronze Age Vikings. It's clear as day. And the way I kind of deciphered that was looking at the depictions of them and just art. And I could just realize that we're being lied to about these people. Something's being covered up here. And then lo and behold, I start researching it, and there's other thinkers who have been hidden who came to the same conclusion that even Egyptologists who are pro-Egypt are saying that these Bronze Age people, the sea people, were from the north. Things like that happen to me all the time, and I think a lot of you can probably relate when you have these feelings, these intuition, these rabbit holes you go down to. And yeah, sometimes the rabbit hole is a fake rabbit hole. Sometimes it's a red herring rabbit hole. But even going down the process of going through a fake rabbit hole or a red herring rabbit hole, that can actually be beneficial, because once you do that, like once or twice or 3 times or however many times, you kind of have a better gauge of when your intuition is going down a wrong path, and you can kind of counterintuit your intuition a little bit better. So even if you do go down some rabbit holes or had some phases in your life that turned out to be wrong and turned out to be a bad idea or completely, misjudgment on your side, you get to hone in your intuition even better after those processes. So there's nothing wrong with even, going down something that may just prove to be completely false. I don't think there is a real waste of time when it comes to things like that. So some examples of this intuition, dreams are huge, especially in the scientific community. It seems scientists, 150 years ago at this point, not modern scientists, of course, but, old scientists seem to have a better understanding of this, right? There was Dmitry Mendeleev and his periodic table vision, okay? The Russian chemist struggled logically to organize the elements until a dream showed him the arrangement in a table format. He woke up and jotted it down, leading to the modern periodic table, the foundation of modern chemistry. Okay, there you go. We also have Friedrich Kekulé and his benzene structure. This happened around the same time too, okay? Happened 4 years before Dimitri's little vision, okay? He was a German chemist, and he had a vision of an Ouroboros, a snake biting its own tail, and this intuitive flash resolved a long-standing puzzle in his problem understanding organic chemistry. And once he had this vision, he could understand the structure of benzene better, and then this led to an advancement in the theory of molecules. Okay? Keck, right? The Keck's in his name. And I know the Keck thing is like really old at this point, really worn out, really hashed out, tired, cliche, but there was something there with the whole Keck stuff in terms of meme magic and sigil magic and chaos magic, which is what I'm trying to get at here, is that there was an understanding then, and I think most people moved on, but there was an understanding that memes can create reality, that memes that you dream can feed your sneed. And if you understand that, you understand magic at a fundamental level, and you understand how you can kind of manipulate your will through those mediums via, a meme is a sigil. That's why when you stare at a meme, it's more powerful than reading a book, or more effective, I should say. Books are effective, but they're not. It's a lot easier to convey information with just a sigil than a giant book. I mean, a book can help you come to the conclusions, and if you read in a more subconscious way rather than trying to just verbalize every single word as you're reading the book, but instead you try to be more subconscious in the way you're trying to understand the material, try to understand more subtly, rather than just trying to read every single word, but trying to get the, more hidden aspects of what's being conveyed, then reading can be a lot more effective. And actually, the real reading happens when you are stop reading and then you start to absorb subconsciously or intuitively or spiritually or energetically what you were consuming. That's how you really read. And then that way, reading is actually way effective. But, unfortunately, we all are reading in English now. And I think English is becoming a bit of psyop. And because it's been chosen, now it's being tampered with, now it's being psyop, now English is being put into boxes so that we can only think certain ways, because we can only really think the language that our brains have the ability to think in. So if certain concepts are not available in that language, then we will never be able to really think about those concepts properly. And, people say German is a much more philosophical language, and I think it's true, but unfortunately, again, you go to Germany and you speak German to a German, and they can sense that you're, a novice, and they're going to, laugh at you and, say, okay, let's speak English now. Your futile attempt to learn German has proven inferior. Let's go switch back to English now, you Angloid peasant. Right? So it's very hard to learn languages now because everyone speaks English, and, it has to be a bit of a passion project if you want to learn a language, because people are just going to take the easy route and converse with you in English. Especially in France, well, not really in France. The French have their own secret little council they go to. They keep their language pure. They go up into the mountains and they eat frogs and they do some ritual. And then they make sure that their language is staying on track in some sort of council. But English is not like that at all. English is just constantly devolving and not even really evolving. It's just devolving, and now it's just basically a meme language. It's a meme language to keep us under control. But with that in mind, it does have its pros. I can communicate to all of you, and many of you are lucky enough to be a speaker in a different language as your mother tongue. I envy you, because us pure Angloids have lost that kind of familial, secretive, enclosed aspect of a mother language that basically everybody else on Earth has maintained except for us. But that's why it's being tampered with, and that's why, it's interesting too, because I have a lot of foreign friends, and depending on what language they speak, they say their personalities change. They have an English personality, they have a Spanish personality, Maybe there's more of a German personality, depending on the language you speak. And language, again, is its own egregore, it's its own spirit. And
Now that I agree, but I'm finna get out this video. Can't relate much to what the white Anglo-Saxon is saying. But that was a good video, man. That was a good video. That flowed pretty nice, pretty well. Fuck with it heavy. Fuck with the video heavy, man. Y'all come fuck with a come fuck with a nigga, man. Come fuck with your boy down on YouTube, TikTok, and up on here. Or if you're on YouTube, come forward with your boy on Twitch. You did. And come forward with your boy on TikTok. And come forward with your boy on TikTok. You know what I'm saying? This just be the clips, to be real. Really come up here. This where I come with the deep talks and all type of shit, man. You gonna want to be up on here for real. But, you know what I'm saying? This where I post the clips to the streams and shit. This where the deep talks come from, man. But if you want either of these, man, come tap into either of these. Come tap in. But hey, bro, I'm finna get off your stream. Man, y'all be easy.